What's up, dude? Do y'all want to talk about the Ringers top 25 players from this season?
Man,
Um,
yeah, I don't think we got to go player by player, but I think we can talk about our like general takeaways, how we feel about some of these placements.
for
Yeah,
sure.
because when I looked at it for the majority, it's a pretty decent list. Like it's respectable. Like I think they put a lot of it into it. Like I think they had a panel of like five guys and they each just ranked them and then they kind of averaged it out like based on where they rank guys. So I think it was a pretty decent list. I was surprised with some of the names that did get left off. Um, But for the most part, most of these guys are pretty deserving. They've had very good seasons.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's not outrageous like lots of the Bleacher Report articles you see. That's for sure. But yeah, there's definitely a couple of guys you could argue to include on the list. But all in all, there's nothing outrageous. There's definitely a few things you could debate about, but all in all, it's fairly fair.
Yeah, there's like a couple of guys where I'm like, they might be a couple of spots too low or a couple of spots too high, but like top five, I think the top five, that's very easily the top five. Whether you want to say like, obviously the top three are the MVP candidates. Like we've been talking about that for weeks. So whatever order you want to put them in, like that's fine. I think then the common person would round out the like top five with KD and Steph, and then probably LeBron right after that. So up through six is like, hey, it's a great list, man. Personally, I would probably have Luka a little bit lower. He was 10th on their list last year, and I don't necessarily think he's been that much better than last year compared to the jump that some other players have made. But him at seven, like if you say, oh, I think he should be at seven, like I'm not gonna openly disagree with you or argue against it because he's been top 10 caliber. Another placement I really like before I let you guys go, Jimmy Butler at 11. I didn't think he'd get that much respect. For me, if like he kind of goes a little bit closer to like maybe 15, 16 sometimes. Like last season, he might have fell down a little bit, but like there's been several stretches of his career, whether that be like 2018, what he did with the Wolves, to like especially 2020, him putting himself like towards that top 10. I like that he's there because I'm high on Jimmy Butler.
I think Jimmy's got to the point in his career where, like, kind of similar to Draymond, like, even if he has a game where he scores like 8 points and they win, people still respect Jimmy Butler. He's just that type of impact guy. Even though he sold me on a parlay a few weeks ago, bro. Like, he sold me. I needed the
You
man to get
betting on
20.
Jimmy is crazy.
I needed him to get 20, bro. And he had like 6 points. I'm like, really, Jimmy? And they lost that game against the Bucks, man. That's why they lost. Because Jimmy sold me. But nah, Jimmy's sensational, bro. We know that. One thing
That
that
game they lost
surprised
to the Bucks was so bogus.
yeah, fact.
Sorry.
A couple things that surprised me. One, when I looked at the honorable mentions, I saw Mikal Bridges get mentioned. So I'm happy to see it. I don't know how much consideration he got, but shout out to Mikal. And they had one Cleveland Cavalier player. They had Jarrett Allen at I think like eight. I think he was like 20 something. Let me see real quick. I think he was 21. Yeah, he was 21.
Jared Allen, yeah, he was 21.
I think him and Darius Garland are kind of interchangeable. I might side a little more with DG, but I do like seeing Jared Allen get his respect because he's been very good this season. It's kind of interesting, man, because one guy was a for sure all-star and the other one was a replacement. Kind of interesting how they went about that.
I think
Yeah,
Darius Garland is a little bit more important to the team. I think Jared Allen's skill set is a little bit more rare nowadays. I feel like a center that's really that good at what he does, you kind of see less of those now. But like still, Darius Garland, I would say point guard is the most important position in basketball today. And if you say take one of them off the team, I feel like the Cavs with Darius and no Jarrett are better than the Cavs with Jarrett and no Darius.
I think that's the case because they still have Mobley, who is very, very good, even as a
That
rookie.
is true because they don't have Sexton as a different guard. So you haven't seen like Sexton with Allen or something. So yeah, obviously there's not enough of a sample to really say like which is more impactful to the team. I mean, you're kind of seeing Garland solo impact now, but that's still even itself a small sample size so far.
Yeah.
The Mikal Bridges thing though, that's dope because the Suns they were still winning games with Booker and Paul out. So like, yeah, he was him and Ayton were like the best players on the team when that happened. To see Mikal though and not see like Ayton at all is kind of surprising.
I think Mikal's impact is just so unique compared to DeAndre Ayton's, especially because of like how good JaVale's been as a backup. And then you throw in Bismack Biyombo, who's been pretty solid as a third guy. Mikal's very unique to this team. He goes out there, defends the best perimeter player pretty much every single night, shoots league average from 36%, and he's still giving like 14 points a game. Like, it's been an improvement of a season for him. I think it's gone very under the radar too. I'll be interested to see like what kind of consideration he gets for like defensive player of the year. He definitely should be an all defensive player this season. I don't know how he didn't make it last year. That's still kind of crazy to me, but yeah, he's definitely been a big piece of the Suns' success this year.
Let me ask you this, both of you guys, really. For a long time, we know the importance of 3-and-D players. For a long time, I think like the prime like person you looked at when you're like, who is the embodiment of just a perfect 3-and-D player? We thought of Klay Thompson. I think we all thought of Klay Thompson for a long time. Has that become Mikal Bridges? Is he like the defining like best at that role in the league now?
Maybe. I think once the Raptors are healthy, we haven't really seen OG a ton with a full healthy Raptors team. He wasn't really truly a 3-and-D at the start of the year just because Gary and Siakam were out. But I think OG's in that conversation still as well when the Raptors are healthy and he truly is a 3-and-D guy. But Mikal Bridges fully deserves his spot in that as well. He's probably better than OG is and more versatile than OG is. I think he's a better off-ball defender as well. I think Mikal's definitely at the top of that list. But I think OG deserves some love in that as well.
Yeah, I feel like those are probably like, off the top of my head, those are probably the best two. I'm having a hard time thinking of that many guys. Like, there's some, like, Jay Crowder's cool, but he's not, like, in that tier. Danny Green? He's kind of over the hill a little bit. Like, there's not really, like, for something that's so premier in basketball, like, there's not that many, like, super elite 3-and-D guys in the league right now, which is kind of crazy because a few years ago, I felt like there was a lot more. But I would say Mikal's probably –
Yeah, I'm just looking at this list, and sorry, I'll let you go ahead.
No, you're good. That was basically my point.
Oh, well, yeah, it's just looking at this list, like, there's not a lot of players on this list that you can really see do a lot of great things without the ball. Obviously, they're not, like, bad off the ball, but it's, like, players that just fit anywhere. I would almost take Mikal over, like, anybody in the top 25 to fit in any roster, which is crazy to say. Obviously, I'm not saying that he should be, like, over any of them. But his versatility is crazy. And that's why I think he could be in, like, the top 25 by next year. And, like that Klay Thompson type way to where people still call Klay Thompson, I feel like, top 20, top 25 when he was, the third best player on his own team for a while. So Mikal can do it. I also like seeing – I think Pascal Siakam might have low-key made the list if he didn't miss the first month of the season. Because he's been nice this year. He's been real nice.
I agree.
Pascal has been great.
Shout out to DeAndre Hunter as well. I think DeAndre Hunter should have a bit of a spot in that conversation as well. I don't think he's quite at that level yet, but I think he's getting there.
Another guy
you mean in the 3-and-D conversation or the top 25?
3-and-D. Yeah.
I was about to say, you were calling DeAndre Hunter top 25.
I like him, but I don't like him that much.
I mess with DeAndre Hunter a lot. I mess with him a lot. He sold me in a parlay too, bro. I think I needed 3 assists from him. Just 3 assists. Man's had 1. He had 1 assist, bro. Like,
he averages.
He averages like 1.5, but man, you can't get an accidental couple assists, bro. Like a lob to Clint Capella.
Bro, you bet assist on players that aren't Trae Young on the Hawks. If you bet on a heliocentric offense like that, bro, I'm only betting assist on
you can't make the extra pass. Like, oh my God, man. It's crazy. The Hawks, here's my advice to people who do parlays. Stay away from the Hawks. Just stay away from them, bro. You can bet on Trae Young, that's a safe bet, but anybody else, stay away from him. Even Clint Capella, because, bro, I needed one more rebound. Would have won the parlay. This was against the Celtics like 2 weeks ago. This man, Nate McMillan, Clint needed one more board with a whole quarter to go, and it's still a close game. He had Clint on the bench the entire fourth quarter. The entire fourth quarter, bro. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with the Hawks, bro.
Well, the Hawks aren't playing tonight, so it's a good night.
Man.
Here's your reminder to bet responsibly, man. Bet not on the Hawks.
I wasn't throwing like hundreds of dollars. It was like $5 parlays. I'm not that crazy.
Hey, Calvin really said he only bet $1,500, and that was not close to true. So.
That man was taking games off though to make parlays. That's kind of crazy. But back to the list. Jrue Holiday made the top 20. That was maybe a little surprising-ish.
Surprising. I like it though.
Yeah. Chris Middleton wasn't on the list though. All-star. No. Chris Mitty.
I will give him his credit. He has been better as of late. I will give him that. His last couple of weeks have been quite good. But yeah, he definitely shouldn't be on this list.
Most definitely.
Holiday's been real nice, but I definitely expected I would have expected DG to be above him on the list. I probably would have expected a couple people to be above him on the list, to be honest. Like people that were also in the top 25, like some of those bottom 5. I don't know, but I do think experts probably respect Jrue Holiday more than the average fan does. So I think the fact that it's like ranked by actual media people, they usually give Jrue his respect.
Usually, yeah.
Sure.
I can't get down with this though. James Harden at 18. We know the start of the season wasn't great for him. Then you got Rudy Gobert at 17. I can't get down with that, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think Rudy Gobert should.
That's tough.
I think Gobert should be on that bullet point that says the players who fell out of the top 25 from last year were as follows.
I'm not gonna say all that.